How has your week been? Mine has been fantastic. Um, and I hope that I hope that you've been having a good time. It's stressful. There's been a lot of political primaries and rallies here in Abuja, where I reside, and because of that, there's been a bit of fuel scarcity, but that's fine. We are getting by. We are getting by. Somehow, I just find fuel, or you buy by the roadside. Something has to happen. We have to keep moving, and I hope it has been good on your own end. So, today we've been talking about conflicts. We've been talking about conflicts and how it affects us, how it affects how we can master, how we can master um, the conflict so that it does not degenerate into combat. But today, I want us to talk about well, I want us to talk about something. I hope you can still see me. This is Nigeria. Okay, okay. I think the power has been restored. Um, I think the power has been restored. Sorry about that. This is Nigeria. I think that when it comes to conflicts, there's a particular angle that I want us to look at things from this morning, and it is from the angle of the far-reaching effects of conflicts on, you know, on us and on the people around us. And this has become really important because I have had to interface with some children. I've had to recently it was the the boys' day. Usually we have International Day of the Girl Child, but recently there was International Day of the Boy Child, and we we hosted a program in one of the schools, and we got the children. We got the children talking, and for me, oh, sorry. Something just went wrong with one of my devices here. Um, and I will. Sorry, 1 minute. Let me fix what this is so that we can continue. Um, oh, so sorry about this. Um, oh, mine. This, no. How do I get to? Um, oh, okay. I am back. I am back. Good morning again. So sorry for the break. But like I said, I want us to. We've been talking about conflicts, and today I want us to talk about the far-reaching effects of conflict on us and the people around us. And like I said earlier, I've had to interface with people. I've had to interface with children, people that got me thinking along these lines. Sometimes when the elephant fights, as they say, it is the grass that suffers, and having to interface with children, having to interface with teenagers, and seeing the effect that an unhealthy home has on them, I think is something that we need to talk about. I think it's something that we need to talk about. First, um, oh, sorry. First, there was this time that we had this International Day of the Boy Child, and when we had that event, we were speaking with some children, and you needed to see the toxicity with which they spoke. And I was wondering, where did these children learn all of this from? Where did they learn all of this from? Um, Sometimes when adults have their issues, they don't understand the effect that it has on the children and the people watching. So today, um, just um, by way of just quickly explaining this thing, let me just quickly. I'm so sorry. Today it's a bit some. I'm not home. I'm not in my usual setting. I'm having a lot of issues here and there, things that are not just going as planned. So so you please bear with me today. So number one, the effects, the far-reaching effects. Number one is on you personally. On you personally. Personally, we have a lot of people that begin to develop health issues. Health issues when you are in an unhealthy environment, when you are in a place where um, there is always conflict that you have allowed to degenerate to combat, and you are always in that space. Usually, people in those places develop health challenges, and our bodies respond to our minds. If your mind is toxic, if your mind is unhappy, it shows on your body. Your body begins to fall ill, your body begins to become sick. And so we have a lot of people that are having several issues. We have people that have panic attacks on the regular. We have people that they are suffering depression. We have people that are sick, even physically. You don't know why you are always getting tired, having to repeat treatments. You treat a particular symptom, it doesn't go away. These are some of the far-reaching effects that we might not have thought about. And so it is expedient for you to, whatever it is that is affecting your mental health, pay attention to it so that you are better equipped. You are better equipped to, to be able to, live life better. Live life better, and, it just gives you a better life, a better lifestyle. That's one. Your health is very important. So another thing is that living in such environments reshapes the expectations that you have from life. I know people, and I've worked with people that all of a sudden they expect people to treat them shabbily. They expect to be treated, in an abusive manner. And because of that, if you are being nice to them, it becomes suspicious. You may feel like this is unreal, but the truth is, it just, it distorts your expectations that you have from people and even of yourself. When people treat you nice, when people tell you you are looking nice, you are doing things nice, if they feel like a suspect, that what exactly do you want? Because subconsciously you have told yourself, I don't deserve love, and I don't deserve to be treated well. And so when you see people that treat you well, it is contrary to the norm. And the funny thing about this expectation is also that it's also the children watching. It also tweaks with their expectation as well. I have worked with people um, that for instance, there was a lady that came to my office some time ago, and she was talking about um, she had this guy that wanted to they were dating, and she just felt like there's something wrong with this guy. is not man enough. And she kept saying that word, is not man, is not man, is not man enough. And for me, I was just wondering, what was this man? How do you want him to be a man? And by the time she described whatever it is that was on her mind, you know that essentially what she wanted was a bully. Because for her, the guy was too soft. He was always asking for her opinion. Why should a man be asking for a woman's opinion? You should know what you want and you should do what you want. That was her, the expectations from life that she had. So seeing someone treat her better was something that she could not, handle. It felt like it was fake. It felt so for her to have watched her parents be, her father treat her mother like that. Somehow it created an expectation in her that that is what real love is, and whoever treats you better than that, that person most likely is a suspect. And so she didn't give room to that guy. Eventually, things turned sour between them because um, the guy would always ask her, "What's your opinion about this?" And she felt like a man does not. That she saw it as a sign of weakness for the guy to always ask for her opinion and what she felt about issues. So that is another thing that I think that those are the far-reaching effects of a toxic area, a combative area on the people that are watching and the people around us. Another thing is that, like I said, when we went for this event at the boys' club, and we interviewed some of the children. Um, you needed to know the things that they've been educated on. Um, a lot of them, if care is not taken and if there's no proper intervention, you know that. And the way some of them were talking, you know that they were reciting something that you've seen somewhere. In fact, one of the boys said something about um, when you go out in the morning and you come back and you don't meet food, that kind of woman now, she would expect that she will not be beaten, and he didn't see anything wrong with it. That's the kind of education that he has. And that is another thing that I really, really, really want us to pay attention to. Because when it comes to the education that you are giving to your children, you never know what you're preparing them for. You might be preparing your boys to become tyrants, and that might even, for the boys, you might just be preparing a tiger that you're going to unleash on the world, and that you expect somebody to love, and that person is ready, that person is prepared to treat a woman bad, because some of them, they didn't see anything wrong. We were asking them questions like, so what would a woman do to deserve being beaten? And they had a lot of reasons why a woman should be beaten, or why she should be put in her place. Like, so one of them said why she should be put in her place if she doesn't behave in a particular way. So when you don't have a healthy marriage, when there's always conflict in your relationship, one of the things it does is that it educates your children wrongly. And the final thing that I want us to talk about today, because usually, like I said, I don't want this to be too long, but another thing that you don't also pay attention to is the way you are culturing your girls. You culture your girls to be to be ready for abuse. You culture your girls to be ready for abuse. I know that we read about a lot of cases of abuse. A lot of people talk about the guys that are being abusive towards ladies, and and we say these things all the time. Why did this guy do this? Why did this guy do that? But one thing that we fail to also acknowledge is that a tyrant cannot intimidate everybody. There is something about, because even when you read about narcissism, they look for their partners carefully. They know the kind of people they want. They know the kind of people that will pay attention to them. And so they're always on the lookout for those kind of people. And what I mean by that is that the way we culture our girls to submit to abuse, we need to be careful. No person submits to abuse if it is not familiar. It has to be something that you have seen before. It has to be something that is okay. You have seen it before, and it is something that it's just okay to submit to it. And so There are ladies that we have cultured and have educated in such a way that the only thing that they are looking for is someone that is strong, is someone that uh, demonstrates a lot of power, is someone that can take charge of their lives. And so, if they meet someone that is not that way, it feels strange to them, it is unfamiliar, and so they would sabotage that relationship. They will sabotage a good relationship to ensure that they get into that same space. We talk about abusers, but sometimes we need to talk about the abused as well. What cultured them to become that way? Why did they become that person that it was okay for someone to slap you once in a while? And this person, you still make excuses for them that, oh, I think it was in his moment of weakness. That was why he slapped me. I think it was maybe it's because he's drunk. Maybe we have a lot of reasons. In fact, I was looking at a video recently, and everybody was telling the lady with there was bottle. I think the guy used a bottle to smash her head or something like that, and there was blood all over, even on the baby she was carrying. There is blood on that baby and everything, and people were telling her that, madam, you have to leave this place and go to safety. And you know what she said? I'm not living here for anything. If that is the plan to get me out of my husband's house, I'm not leaving. And I'm wondering, how did she get here? How did she get here? How did this become normal? Because for someone that is abnormal to, the person will be wondering, how, you dare raise your hand against me? You are going to be sleeping behind bars, because this is strange to me. I don't know why on earth you should want to beat me. In fact, people should be saying, okay, he has stopped, he has now repented, and you should be like, I'm not convinced, because for you to have done it once, you may do it again. So there are so many ladies that have been cultured. There are so many ladies that have been trained and educated to submit to abuse. And I think it is something that we need to pay attention to. How does your mind work? How does your mind work when it comes to attracting? Because truth be told, there is something about you that attracts an abuser. There is something about you that makes an abuser comfortable in your presence. And these are the things that we need to do. Like I used to tell people, you can't blame anybody for being who they are, but you can take charge of your own life. You can, practice, self-mastery in such a way that people around you know the things that you want and the things that you don't want. So it's not a matter of what people want to do to you. It's a matter of what you tolerate. It's a matter of what you are in for. And so we need to be careful about, especially as parents. A parenting work is a lot of work, and like I said, there are so many people that we culture wrongly. How are you future are you preparing them for? If you look into your marriage as it is today, you can have a glimpse of the kind of future that you are building for your children. What kind of future are you building for your children? How are you culturing them? How are you educating them? Because conflicts is generational. You pass it down from one generation to another, except of course actively, you can actively stop whatever it is that is happening. And it has to be active, it has to be intentional, it has to be deliberate before you don't pass these things. And so my question for couples this morning will be, how are you culturing the people around you? What are the lessons that you are giving them? What are the things that you're doing? Because this fight that you're having with your spouse does not end there. It affects so many other things. It affects the expectations that your children have. It affects the kind of people that they will eventually attract. It affects what they submit to and what they don't submit to. It affects the things that they are likely to do as well. It affects that as well. And we need to be careful about the things that we do. Conflict is not just about how it affects you alone. Like I said, it affects you. It affects your mental health. It affects your, physical health as well. It affects all of those. But the far-reaching effects, because it goes beyond just what it does to you mentally and physically. It has something to do with what it does to the people around you. And so my question to us today is that, what are you doing? If you look, what are you doing in your relationship, in your marriage? What are you doing, and what education are you giving to the people around you? And I think it's a food for thought that every single one of us should embrace. And should, in case you have You know, you are in this place where you are always, you don't know, at loggerheads with your partner. You really want to have peace, you really want to have a conducive environment where you can raise your kids and all of that, but you are, as much as you try, you don't just seem to be able to get around it. Then in that case, you are speaking to the right person, because that is what I do. And I am a couple therapist, and I'm also an emotional therapist. And if there's anything you want done, then you can speak to us and we'll be here to help you. Thanks this morning for coming, and I hope that you really, really have to think about the things that I've said this morning. Think about it. What is the education that you're giving to the children and the people around you? How are you culturing them? How are you preparing them for the future relationship? And you can know that by just peeping into your own relationship, because whatever you do is what they will replicate eventually, because that is the only script that they have. And on that note, like I said, I don't want our videos to be too long. On that note, I would encourage you, if you are just joining, you can just listen to the replay. Thanks everybody for joining this morning. I really appreciate you. Thanks everybody for joining on all the platforms that I'm broadcasting this from. Thank you very much. Sorry for all the lays and all those things that were not working really well this morning, but I think that eventually we were able to have a good one. Thank you everybody for always joining in with me. Thank you for always watching. And if this is not going to be too much, to help us grow, you can help us share this, you can help us to like it, and you can help us to just spread the word around to the people around you. And on that note, my name once again is Nikki Adekunle. I am your couple therapist and your emotional therapist. And if there's anything you want to do about being whole and having a wholesome marriage, then I'm the right person to talk to. And on that note, I want to say bye for now. See you next week by the grace of God. Bye. Come on.